Greetings and welcome to Monster Legends, and another special feeding episode. This time we're going to be feeding a fellow that I picked up in the Fear of Darkness maze. He was actually the first legendary, very easy to get, no keys required. This, of course, is Muerte McBlood. Of course, he's a parody of Marty McFly from the Back to the Future movies, if you haven't seen that. And, of course, he showed up with lots of open ruin slots. Maybe Dr. Brown helped him with that. Before he bit him, of course. So anyway, he's supposedly very good. Don't even know what kind of creature he is. He kind of looks like an attacker, like damage dealer. But I'm not sure. I guess we're going to find out. So let's find a place for him. I don't think that's quite suitable. We could do that for now. But I think that something like that might be a little bit better. Okay, that looked like a single target type of special skill, but I guess we're going to find out about that, aren't we? Yes, we are. Okay, so let's check him out here. Okay, so you know what? The thing about it is, let's face it, he already has a name. Yeah, he already has a name. Yeah, he already has a name. Alright, so this is Muerte McBlood. He is legendary. He is darkness. He is, of course, what is this one again? I forget the name of this one, but it's really evil. It makes you immune to possession and nightmares and bleeding, which is actually all quite kind of useful. I think he was one of the first ones to actually have that. Abomination, that's it. Abomination, right. All right, let's check out his stats here. He's got a pretty good power. His life is a little bit of normal, and his speed isn't too far behind his power, so these are pretty good. Of course, you take everything into account now that you've seen Steak's starting stats, who's just monstrous, right? But these are very, very good indeed. And, of course, like I said, he's an abomination, so let's check out some skills here. Too cool to be count. Okay, deals low physical damage. And who's McFly? Okay, so deals moderate dark damage to one enemy. And, of course, Vampire Trick. That's that special skill we saw. Deals massive dark damage to one enemy. Applies possession to all enemies. Okay, I was a little bit concerned there for a moment because I never really liked those single target special skills. Because, you know, when special skill goes off, you really want it to, like, save the day, end the fight, something like that. So I was a little concerned with the single target thing. But the fact that it applies to possession to all enemies, that's fine. That's not a problem. Muerte McBlood used to be a normal teenager until Vampira fell in love with him, infected his blood with a kiss, and turned him into a ghoul with a bottomless appetite for flesh, who can smell blood from great distances. He is as insatiable as he is lethal. And apparently lots of commas there. That was a big old run-on sentence until the end there, right? At least they kind of bailed it out in the end. You know, they could have broken that up into 3 sentences, just saying. Okay, so he got ruined by a woman. That sucks, dude. Seriously. He's not even a vampire. He's a ghoul. Really kind of sucks to be you, man. At least you've gotten that whole, like, vampire thing. You would have been cool, but... Sorry about that, Marty. Sorry about that, Marty. Okay, so let's start feeding him up because I want to see some skills. Now, obviously, he's a little fella right now, so we get him to level 4. There we go. His second evolution in the days in which we used to have 2 evolutions. Just saying, you know. All right, so that's because... He's warm. He's got a nice hat on. Okay. I guess he went underground for a moment. All right, let's continue. Because I want to see some skills starting at level 7. Health issues. Deals moderate special damage to one enemy. Gains as much life as he does damage. Okay, so this is going to be a life drain, but we can actually see the damage. A lot of these life drains they used to do, they would have like a blank damage value, and you're like, okay, well, what is it? You know, it's maybe testing something you had to do, right? This is actually very good. That's a good skill. If we get a nice big one like that for the end, that'd be kind of cool. I also like the fact that it's special damage too, because I like monsters that have both. You know, if he runs into somebody who's weak against darkness and he uses darkness attacks, but if he runs into somebody who is strong against darkness, you like to have those special ones, right? All right, so let's continue to level 10 and another skill. Uncle Orkin Ring. Okay, deals moderate dark damage to one enemy, 50% chance of bleeding. Okay, bleeding is a good thing for our enemies. And of course, that one is darkness. Let's mix it up a little bit, right? Okay, so we know he's doing bleeding, and we know he's doing life drains. Okay, so it's a good start. Let's continue. To level 15. Vampire Accelerator. Removes all negative status effects from itself. Applies precision. I'll throw it up here. Actually, I'm going to throw it in the first spot because there's no chance I'm going to keep that one. I mean, if he's got self buffs to come later, that'll be very good. But that one, not really enough. You know, precision's great these days, especially with the missing issue. Yeah, it's not quite enough. Add some more stuff to that, you know. Maybe an extra turn, too. Let's see, does that happen at level 20? Nosferatu Claws. Deals very heavy dark damage to one enemy, applies bleeding to one enemy. Alright, so we immediately have an upgrade for this one. Actually, you know, I'm just going to throw that right there, because that's just really good. Wouldn't surprise me if we keep that one, you know? It's only 1 round cooldown, too. But I mean, that's really good attack right there. Alright, let's continue to level 25. And his final form. Blood Drinker. Deals very heavy special damage to one enemy. Gains his... Okay, so we got an upgrade for this one. That's pretty darn good. It's a 2 round cooldown, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. Okay, there he is. His final form. Muerte McBlood. You're just going to stand there? You're going to do something? The audience is watching. Okay, there. He did something. Okay, that's an old trick, dude. You did that when you were younger. Learn something new. Level 30. Let's see what he's got. Back to the damage. Oh, back to the damage. Really funny. Applies evasion to self. Applies double damage to self. Requires cooldown. That's kind of interesting right there. That's kind of interesting. Well, obviously I don't need that anymore, right? So why don't we just throw it there? Don't know if I'm going to keep it, but that one's kind of interesting. That one's kind of interesting. You know, you get a situation where maybe the team is in trouble. He does that one, and then he's safe for a round, and then when he comes back, he does big damage. You know, maybe ends the fight. I could see that being useful. I could see that. Let's continue. To level 35. Looking for something for that first spot. No one calls me bat. Okay, deals heavy dark damage. Oh, well, that's not bad. All right, well, I mean, for the moment, I can see putting that in the first spot. Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is if I have to make some kind of an arrangement or switch it out later, but I can see that being in the first spot. It's kind of hoping there might be some bleeding or something in there, but you never know. You never know. There might be something coming. We still got probably 2 more skills. I'm guessing we probably got like 2 more skills. So let's see what they are, so we can figure out what we're going to do for this guy. Oregon Curse. Deals moderate dark damage to all enemies. There you go! Exactly what I was asking for. Okay, that means I have to make decisions now. Alright, so let's think about this for a moment. That's dark. Okay, this is the darkness one. Oh, but that is such a nice big hit, isn't it? That one is slightly less. That's the life drain. The life drain we're keeping, right? Because the thing about it is that can be very, very useful. Especially if he's got double damage on, right? I mean, that's a really nice hit, but we also have bleeding. I mean, the big part of that is the bleeding. Okay, that's a 2 round cooldown. I mean, right there, that's heavy damage. And it's heavy dark damage, right? Alright, I have to... Obviously, I'm taking the group bleeding. I guess I'm losing Nosferatu Claws. I mean, it's a really heavy hit, but if you look at it... I mean, that one there is a group attack, right? And it's less than the other single target, but it's not bad at all, right? And the thing about it is, the big part about this one is the bleeding, but if we put the group one in, they're all bleeding, you know? So that's just better. And if I need a big single target one, like for instance, if I have double damage or something, then I have this one. Yeah, you gotta keep, I mean, this is a really good skill. It's just, do I want to get rid of this? I can see this one being very useful in a situation, you know? He goes in there and then he comes back, double damage, maybe does this one, finishes something off, or does this one because it does heavy damage to everyone. You know, I can just see, I can't lose this one, you know? I mean, this Nosferatu Claws is a really good skill. It's just that that one's a better skill. So obviously this guy's a damage dealer, right? We got that now. I don't know if there's anything else. In a way, I'm hoping not, unless there's a big upgrade coming. Because the thing about it is he's already made my life complex enough. You know what I mean? Okay, so level 45. What do we have? Nosferatu Claws. I'm probably going to see that one a lot now, right? Okay, heading for level 50. Heading for level 50. Inherited Fangs deals massive special damage to one enemy, gains as much. Well, you know, that's a no-brainer right there. Look at that, same values too. You know, it just does a lot more damage, so it's going to drain a lot more life. Yeah, I mean, look, the same stamina, same cooldown. Yeah, I mean, that's a no-brainer. Okay, like I said, if it was an upgrade, that's a great thing, and that's what we got. Pretty darn sure we're done now. Pretty darn sure we're done. 55. Yeah, we're just going to see that one probably one more time, too, because I sure don't want that. It's really a great skill. Yeah, it's like that. All right, so let's just check. I'm pretty darn sure that, okay, Blood Drinker, that's the one we just got rid of, and Nosferatu Claws. Right, okay, so, and Vampire Celebrator. Yeah, I mean, I was hoping for a better one, and we got a better one. 4-round cooldown, I guess it's kind of an emergency thing, though, right? So it's not that big of a deal. All right, let's look at his stats. Okay, his damage is pretty good. Life is above normal, which is good. Speed's not bad, especially for someone who's like a damage dealer. And he does have 2 group attacks. So speed, you might want to think about that. You know, I guess we'll get into that later, won't we? All right, let's look at his skills. First of all, I like what he's got. I definitely like what he's got. All right, let's start with the first one. No one calls me Bat. Okay, deals massive dark damage to all enemies, right? Cooldown, 3-round cooldown. Not bad. Just nothing in there. There's no effects or anything in there. Just damage. That's fine. That's fine. He's got the damage. He's got the power to be able to make it better. You know, do good. And he's also got the possibility of doing double damage and really doing damage with it. So that's pretty good. It's a good starting skill. Then we have Orlok Curse. Deals moderate dark damage to all enemies. Applies bleeding to all enemies. Okay, so this is it's a moderate damage darkness attack. I would have preferred one of those guys be special damage, frankly. I wish it had worked out that way, but, you know, that's fine. That's fine. This one, however, does moderate dark damage. It's a high moderate. It seems to be a high moderate, right? But more importantly, it applies bleeding to all the enemies. So that's actually very good. Bleeding is a very good dot. Bleeding is a very good dot. So he's got 2 group attacks. 2 group attacks. This one's only a 2-round cooldown, which is kind of cool because you can keep the bleeding going. The bleeding's going to last for 3 turns. He's got a 2-round cooldown, so you can keep them perpetually bleeding if the fight goes on for a long period of time. Then we have Inherited Fangs. Deals massive special damage to one enemy, gains as much life as damage done. So this is a life drain. This will heal him. It'll also do a lot of damage, especially with his power. This is his sole, of the ones that I chose, this is the sole special damage attack. So this one could be very useful in terms of finishing somebody off, especially when you look at this one. Back to the damage. Applies evasion to self, applies double damage to itself, requires a cooldown. All right, so this would be something you would use maybe if things go wrong, or if your denial actually is giving you a chance to do this, right? So you do the double damage, you're in evasion, you can't be hurt by anything, right, for that turn. And then you come back with double damage, and then you can do your big hits, whether it's your single target one, the Inherited Fangs, or maybe No One Calls Me Bat. If you're going to choose one of the two, you'd go use the No One Calls You Bat over the Orlok Curse, because that one just does more damage. And, you know, bleeding isn't going to be affected by double damage. It's just a dot. It does a percentage. So you'd want to take advantage of the double damage, especially since it only lasts 1 turn. So the thing about it is, if you have one individual left, you probably go with Inherited Fangs. Because one thing, too, is if it is later in a fight and there's a problem and you're hurt badly, it'll also heal you in case your blow doesn't finish it off, right? So that's actually pretty good. He's got a pretty good set here of stills. He's a good damage dealer, indeed. So let's take a look at him now. I would say this is a good, tricky question here. He doesn't have a stamina problem, right? None of these guys, 6, 24, 27. I mean, these are no problem at all. No problem at all. He's not going to have a stamina problem. You don't have to worry about stamina. Life, he's already a little bit on the chunky side, so you don't have to worry about that. You know, I don't think he's not going to be fragile. You know, he's not going to be fragile. Probably up near 30,000 once he gets to 100. So that's not much of a problem there. He's a damage dealer, so you want to take advantage of his damage, right? Especially with that massive one and the heavy group attack. So you definitely want to take advantage of that. So, yeah, damage. How much damage do you put on him? Definitely 2. If you wanted to put a third one on him, that would be fine. If you wanted to put 2 damage and a speed on him, because he is fast. So if you could put a good old speed on him, you would make him faster. He does have 2 group attacks, and he does have the bleeding too. So you might want to get a lot of damage out of him very quickly, you know? And also the fact that he also can give himself double damage, but it takes him a turn. So, I mean, that really depends on, I guess, maybe what kind of group you're going to use him in or such. But I'm actually leaning heavily towards the 2 damages and the speed myself. Because, like I said, he's not a slowpoke. He's pretty good with the speed, considering he's a damage dealer. You know, I would probably lean that way. But I could see if somebody wanted to put all damage on him, I could perfectly understand that. Because, I mean, look, heavy dark damage, moderate, pretty much high mark damage, and then massive special damage. If you want to put 3 damages on him, I can understand that. It's just that I would probably want him acting as many times as I could. So anyway, this is Muerte McBlood, or Marty, I should say. And he's pretty good. And you're probably going to see a testing video for him very soon. Probably tomorrow. I'm going to have to find a third for that team along with the Baroness. But now that I know I have a damage dealer, I can pick somebody maybe utility-wise, right? So anyway, thank you very much for your attention. I really appreciate it. And play games because games are fun. See ya.